There is something deeply powerful about the laughter of a child. It is pure, hopeful, untouched by politics. But in Nigeria today, for millions of children, laughter is becoming a luxury. Some wake up not to cartoons or classrooms, but to hunger. Some carry trays on dangerous highways instead of school bags. Some sleep under bridges instead of in bedrooms. Some hear gunshot more often than nursery rhymes. Some are being kidnapped. We heard what happened in Oyo State recently. Some children are still in the bush right now. Yet, at Eagle Square in Abuja during the 2026 Children's Day celebration, the federal government declared, the future is now. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, speaking through the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, delivered a message filled with hope and emotion. There is a timeless beauty in the laughter of children. In the eyes of every Nigerian child lives the story of our collective tomorrow. Beautiful words, powerful words. But here is the difficult question Nigeria must answer honestly. If the future is truly now, why does that future still look so painful for so many Nigerian children? Now, let's look at the child Nigerians celebrate and the child Nigeria ignores. Every Children's Day, Nigeria dresses children in colorful uniforms. Government officials make speeches, camera flash, march past begin, but away from the celebration grounds, another Nigeria exists. The Nigeria where a 10-year-old girl sells sachet water under the scorching sun in Lagos traffic. The Nigeria where children in internally displaced persons camps struggle to find food, medicine, or safety. In Nigeria where some parents must choose between feeding their children and sending them to school. This is the contradiction at the heart of Nigeria's Children's Day celebration. The nation praises children symbolically, but often fails them structurally. If the future is now, why are millions still out of school? Nigeria still has one of the highest number of out-of-school children in the world. Behind every statistic is a child whose future is slowly being stolen. A boy in a rural village without teachers. A girl forced into early marriage instead of education. A child displaced by bandits' attacks, whose classroom has become a refugee camp. Many public schools across Nigeria, roofs are collapsing, people sit on bare floors, teachers are poorly paid, laboratories are empty, libraries barely exist. How can a nation compete globally when many of its children are learning in conditions unfit for dignity? Countries that transform themselves economically did not begin with oil. They began with children. Look at Singapore, look at South Korea, look at Finland. They invested aggressively in education, nutrition, technology, and human capital development. Because every serious nation understands one thing. Children are not charity projects, they are national infrastructure. The theme of this year's celebration was Future Now, promoting inclusion for every Nigerian child. But inclusion must mean more than slogans. What does inclusion mean for a child born with disabilities in a village without accessible schools? What does inclusion mean for children in conflict zones who have never experienced stability? What does inclusion mean for children living in poverty so severe that survival itself becomes a daily battle? Because inclusion is not merely about inviting children to ceremonies. Re-inclusion means access to education, access to healthcare, protection from abuse, digital opportunities, emotional support, safety, dignity. And many Nigerian children still do not have these basics. The silent emergency of child poverty, perhaps the greatest enemy of the Nigerian child today, is poverty. Not ordinary poverty, multi-dimensional poverty. The kind of poverty that affects food, healthcare, shelter, sanitation, education, and hope all at once. A hungry child cannot concentrate in school. A malnourished child struggles cognitively. A sick child without healthcare loses developmental opportunity before life even begins. When parents cannot afford school fees, textbooks, or transport, children become casualties of economic hardship. This is where the Children's Day conversation becomes uncomfortable, because no country can claim to love children while millions of families remain trapped in economic despair. The children living with fear. How does a child dream boldly in a country where insecurity has normalized fear? Across parts of Nigeria, children have been kidnapped, From schools, community have been attacked, families displaced, childhood traumatized. Some children now associate school with danger. Think about that. A classroom, once a symbol of hope, becoming a symbol of fear. That psychological damage lasts for years, and it takes time to heal. The future of the nation cannot be secured if its children grow up emotionally wounded by violence and instability. Children with disabilities is still invisible. One of the most important parts of this year's message was inclusion. Nigeria still has a long journey regarding children living with disabilities. Many schools lack ramps, learning aids, trained educators, inclusive teaching system. Too many children are hidden away because society still stigmatizes disability. And yet, some of the greatest innovators and thinkers in human history lived with disabilities. The real disability is not physical limitation, it is societal neglect. Now let's look at digital future or digital exclusion. The world is changing rapidly. Artificial intelligence, coding, digital literacy, remote learning, technology-driven economies. Millions of Nigerian children still lack electricity, internet access, computer, modern learning environment. If Nigeria does not aggressively prepare children for the digital economy, a country risks creating a future where Nigerian children are globally uncompetitive. That would be catastrophic because the future does not wait for countries that delay investment in human development. To be fair, government effort exists. This conversation must also remain balanced. There have been government interventions, school feeding programs, child protection campaigns, social investment initiative efforts towards girl child education, policy conversation around inclusion and digital education, civil society organizations, religious institutions, teachers, and many parents continue making significant sacrifices daily for their children. There are Nigerians fighting quietly every day to protect childhood. That deserves recognition. Good intention alone cannot solve systemic problems. Nigeria does not merely need ceremonies. It needs sustained implementation. Policies must leave conference halls and reach villages. Budget must reach classrooms. Protection laws must reach vulnerable children. The bigger question is, what kind of future is Nigeria building? The true test of any nation is not the height of its skyscrapers. It is how it treats its children. Because children reveals the moral condition of a society. When children are hungry, unsafe, uneducated, trafficked, abused, or abandoned, that nation is quietly mortgaging its future. And perhaps that is why President Tinubu's statement resonates so deeply. In the eyes of every Nigerian child lives the story of our collective tomorrow. The question is, what story are we writing? A story of hope or a story of neglect? Maybe the Nigerian child is not asking for miracles. Maybe all they want is a safe school, a decent meal, protection from violence, access to healthcare, someone who believes their dreams matters. Maybe the future Nigerian seeks is already sitting quietly inside overcrowded classroom, waiting to be noticed. Now, Children's Day should not merely be a celebration. It should be a national mirror, a mirror forcing leaders, parents, institutions, and society to confront uncomfortable truths. Because the future is not built through speeches alone. It is built through policies, through protection, through investment, through compassion, through accountability. A nation that abandons its children eventually abandons itself. And so, as Nigerians celebrate Children's Day 2026, the challenge remains clear. Do not merely tell children they are the future. Create a country where they can actually survive long enough, dream boldly enough, and live freely enough to become it. Because in the end, the true measure of Nigeria's greatness will not be oil production, political power, or GDP figures. It will be whether the Nigerian child can finally laugh without fear. The future is already here, sitting in our classrooms, walking barefoot on our streets, surviving in our villages, and waiting for Nigeria to decide whether it truly cares. I rest my case on this one. Join the next analysis. Don't forget to put a like and subscribe for more deep dives into what is happening in Nigeria. I'll see you in my next post. Stay blessed.